Shivaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha. Om. Om Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tamha Devamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvopaplavarahitāh Prajñānaghanah Pratyagartho Brahmaivahamasmi Brahmaivahamasmi. Vedantartha Vibhasakaya Gurave Shantaya Sannyasine Nanavadi Nagendra Sanghapavaye Yogindra Vandyaya Cha Mohadvanta Divakaraya Bhagavat Padabhidham Bibrate Tasmai Bhashakrite Namostu Satatam Purnaya Bodhatmane. Om. Let us recite the verse number 68 and proceed to 69. Tasmad yasya mahabaho Tasmad yasya mahabaho Nigrihitani sarvashaha Nigrihitani sarvashaha Indriyani indriyarthebhyaha Indriyani indriyarthebhyaha Tasya prajna pratisthita Tasya prajna pratisthita. So, a very sure outer characteristic of asthita prajna is yasya indriyani vigrihitani, the one whose indriyas are mastered. Now, one should not even mistake that simply he who has whose external transactions seem to be that of withdrawal is for sure asthita prajna. No. But even over there, param drishtva nivartate, even the rasa, the raga, the interest, the subconscious, unconscious interest in the Vishaya, in meaning the objects, the world, will fade away when one truly has seen the self, has known the self as Brahman. So thus, so far, we have reached at this place. This mastery over the indriyas and the mind, hmm, and how is this? When the mind has given up its raga and dvesha, thus remains immersed in Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam, then such a person is Sthita Prajna. Okay. Now, furthermore, there is a very important topic which Bhagavan Sri Krishna inaugurates over here under the Sthita Prajna Lakshanas. He, Bhashakara Bhagavan gives an introduction to it and he says, Yoyam Laukiko Vaidiko Vyavaharaha Sa Utpanna Viveka Vishyanasya Sthita Prajnasya Avidya Karyatvat Avidya Nivrittau Nivartate Etadartham Sputi Purvan Aha. Sputi Purvan Aha. Yoyam Laukiko Vaidiko Vyavaharaha. Whether the transactions with the world are worldly transactions or they are the Shastriya transactions, meaning the activities which are ritualistic in nature, Shastriya, all these transactions then are given up, and therefore there is sarva karma sannyasa. So now, for and why is there sarva karma sannyasa? Because all the transactions, whether they are laukika transactions, laukika meaning the worldly transactions dealing with the loka, with the world, and or with the shastra, certain things one has to do as a part of this world. Okay, and like the etiquettes or certain things, like as simple as going to a doctor, buying a medicine, or a buying some food. Huh? Over there, there is a transaction. Then it is naturally that you pay this much money and get that much grains. This is not what is told to you by Shastra, by the Vedas, that just pay this much money for 1 kg of rice and this much money for 1 kg of beans. No, it is not told by Shastra. This is something laukika. And Shastra may simply tell you that, that one should uh, be doing justice even when transacting with the world, and satyam ahimsa, these are the values that should remain as the very fundamental values even in these transactions. That's fine. So now, yoyam laukiko vaidiko vyavaharaha. So for whom is this vyavahara? The one who wants something from the world. Okay, something that he desires. And therefore, the person necessarily is someone who has some form of a desire which can be fulfilled by by obtaining something from the world. So that he is a kami. There is some sort of a kama, some desire. A. B, that he identifies himself as the karta, bhokta, as the doer and the experiencer. Now you see, in both these cases, the person he assumes himself to be the jiva. He assumes himself to be the jiva. In some way or the other, he still sees the world is real, the duality is real, as well as there is some sukha buddhi in this, in the objects, in the anatma vastu. There is So Anatma is real, Anatma is Sukharupa, and Atma is seen as Karta Bhokta Jiva. Now, and this is the foundation of all the Vyavahara. This is the foundation of all the Vyavahara. Laukika Vyavahara, be it Laukika Vyavahara or be it the Shastriya Vyavahara. And therefore, this Vyavahara, you will know, is all it, its foundation is what? Avidya, is the ignorance. So this ignorance being the foundation of both vyavaharas, shastriya vyavahara as well as laukika vyavahara. So somebody is continuously doing some yajna and therefore he is sthita prajna. No, he identifies himself as a doer and therefore he is continuously doing it. Oh no, you're very religious man and therefore very pious, very religious, and that's why he must be, what do they call? A sthita prajna, a realized one. No, this does not happen. He still sees himself as someone who is a karta bhukta. Only good thing about him is that his vyavahara, all his transactions are are drawing their energy from the uh, instructions of the Shastra. Okay, Vidhi Nisheda Shastra. But Vidhi Nisheda Shastra is also applicable to the one who is a karta, the one who is a doer, and an experiencer. Do this, eat this, don't do this, cannot eat this. For whom will it be told? The one who is a karta bhokta. And to identify Atma is karta bhokta, ignorance is the cause. And therefore, yoyam vyavaharaha vaidikova laukikova. Whatever may be the nature of the vyavahara, whether it is shastriya vyavahara or the laukika vyavahara, secular, or it could be even the religious one. And then what happens? So, utpanna viveka vijnanasya. Now, something is being told to us about this vyavahara. In case of the one in whom this discrimination is dawned, utpanna is born. So now he has this viveka, the atma is satyam, and anatma is only an appearance. This atma is brahman, satyam, is satyam, is anantam. And so he who has now known this, and this Atma alone is the source of happiness. In fact, Atma, the nature of Atma, of the self, is happiness. And therefore, Utpanna Viveka Vishyanasya, in whom this Viveka, and Viveka is born, what happens to him? And the knowledge is also stable. It does not get clouded. It does not get clouded. The reason for it to get clouded is some form of desire unconsciously or subconsciously, which may be there, then is going to cloud the knowledge. And that also is not there because the knowledge now has gained the stability. Sthita prajnasya, we can see that all this vyavahara being founded on avidya, what happens? When the ignorance goes away, naturally, when the cause goes away, even the effect will also be gone. Thus, either vyavahara which has avidya as the cause, even this vyavahara not only loses importance, but it actually is given up. And therefore, in case of the enlightened one, sarva karma sannyasa is something, renunciation of all the karma is something which is natural outcome. Why? Because the vyavahara is, what is the avidya karyam? When the cause is destroyed, the effect is bound to be destroyed. Avidya karyatvad, avidya nivrittau nivartate. Etadartham. So now, this is the topic which we are going to see. How does Bhagavan Shri Krishna bring about this point? And so let us see in this particular verse. Ya nisha sarvabhutana, ya nisha sarvabhutana, tasyam jagarti sanyami, tasyam jagarti sanyami, yasyam jagrati bhutani, yasyam jagrati bhutani. Sa nisha pashyato munehe, sa nisha pashyato munehe. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam ya nisha. Let's do the anvaya of the shloka. Anvaya means rearrangement of the stanza of the verse. Sarva bhutanam ya nisha. Tasyam sanyami jagrati. Yasyam bhutani jagrati, sa nisha, sa munehe, sa pashyato munehe, nisha. This is the arrangement. Yasyam bhutani jagrati, sa pashyato munehe, nisha. So, look at the translation. That which is the night for all the beings. Night means where all of them are sleeping. That which is the night for all the beings, the Sanyami is awakened. Now the word Sanyami is used. And Sanyami means it should make us understand the one who has mastered the body, mind, sense, equipment. Sanyami is awakened. That in which all the beings are awake. So it means that which is where all the beings are awake. Where are they? For us, what is real? The transactions of the world, the transactional world is real. So over there, that he is like a dream for the enlightened one, and therefore for him this is only an appearance, and therefore he sees this as what? A dream, and he is sleeping over there. That is what it says. That in which all the beings are awake is the night for the wise one who sees. Okay. Pashyato mune, he who sees. Sees means now he who has known the reality, the one who is able to behold the reality. So the wise one who knows the reality, which for the ordinary men is not real, means they are not even aware. For them, the reality is that the world is a place from where I have to extract the happiness. All this is real, and I am an experiencer, I am the doer. So for an ordinary person, this is a factual knowledge about himself as well as about the world. But what about the awakened one? The awakened one sees this as only a dream, as an appearance. To say that Atma is a karta bhukta, her Atma is the doer and the experiencer is not true, because this doership and experiencership is due to the conditioning. And what is the nature of that conditioning? That conditioning is only a projection of ignorance. Thus, therefore, Atma is though not karta and bhokta, can appear to be Karta and Bhokta through the conditioning. And what about this world? The world means it is the body mind equipment belongs to this world. So the same status to the entire range of anatma padartha. And what is that? Is an appearance. And nobody, an ordinary person who is striving over here, for him this he is not even aware Atma is Brahman, and therefore he is sleeping in that. For him, the reality is Atma is Karta Bhokta, the world is real, and we have to chase the objects in order to gain happiness. That is what he sees. And that's what the ordinary people consider as real. So what the ordinary person considers this as the reality, for the awakened one, it is the night, which means for him it is a dream, like something that is seen in the sleep. So Bhagavan Bhashyakar now explains this verse. Ya Nisha. Nisha means Ratrihi. So, we are going to go to various commentaries and see certain highlights from there in order to understand this verse. Now, the verse has been translated to you, its crux also has been presented, but in order to see the subtler, the finer points of it, we are going through this exercise of seeing the highlights brought from the various commentaries. Okay, Nisha. Bhashyakar Bhagavan says Nisha means Ratri, Ya Nisha. Sarva Padarthanam Avivekakari. Okay, means what? When it is dark. Nisha generally means the night. And when it is dark, the most of the people, animals, etc., birds, etc., they cannot see. There are certain nocturnal animals and birds which may be able to see, but we will see even they will be dealt with. So those who, what happens in darkness is that all the objects we are not able to discriminate. There is a table, this is a chair, this is from where, and that's why we stumble and tumble over those objects when walking in dark. So what does darkness do? Sarva padarthanam avivekaha. What does the darkness create for us? The aviveka. One is not able to discriminate, see the difference, the chair, the path, the stool in the way, nothing. And so sarva padarthanam avivekakari. This happens as at night. Why? Tamasvabhavatva, because it is the nature of that night to cast darkness. The tamo guna is the predominant guna over there. Tamasvabhavatva. Okay. Sarvesham bhutanam. And this is a general rule for all the animals, all the living beings. For all the beings, this is the general rule. Tamasvabhavatvat nisha sarva padarthanam avivekakari. Okay. Then ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti sanyami. The sanyami, the one who has mastered his body-mind equipment, and mastering the body-mind equipment, we should know there are two things. First of all, the transactions will follow the code of conduct. Okay, first of all, the transactions will follow the code of conduct as shown by the scriptures. Meaning what? That where the values of Satyam, Ahimsa, Asteyam will be always protected. Will be always protected. These will be the cardinal values guiding the transactions of a person. And so, what is it that is not known to the ordinary people? Kim tat? They do not know the reality. R capital. They do not know the reality. Paramartha Tattvam. They do not know what is the reality. Paramartha Tattvam. That principle which is the supreme reality. Paramartha Tattvam is not known. But yes, this is known to someone. But to whom is it known? He says, Sthita Prajnasya Vishayaha. It is known to this enlightened one. And that's why we are going to call him awakened. Sthita Prajnasya Vishayaha. Now, Nattanchalasthaniyanam ajnaninam sarvabhutanam paramarthatvam nisheva gocharatvat atad buddhinam. Okay. Now this is not known to them. And what do they do? And therefore, for these people, they keep moving about in this darkness. And they are like the nocturnal animals. They do not know the sunlight. For them, the sunlight is like the darkness. And so, atad buddhinam, nattancharastaneyanam ajnaninam sarvabhutanam paramartha tattvam nisha iva. Therefore, for these ordinary beings, for most of us, what is that? Because one does not know, that means it is shrouded in darkness for them. And tasya paramartha tattva lakshanayam ajnana nidraya prabuddho jagarti. But over there, what is not known to most of the people, this Sanyami is awakened over there. Where is the Sanyami awakened? To that where most of the people are unaware. He is awakened to that reality where that it is not known to most of the people. Prabhuddho Jagarti. Now, what is the meaning of the word Sanyami? Jitendriya Yogi. Both these words you have to put together. Jitendriya Yogi. The one who has mastered the senses and also he who has mastered the mind, which means now this mind is also how endowed with yoga and hence he is a yogi. Jitendriya Yogi. Yasyam avidya nishayam grahya grahaka bheda lakshanayam prasuptani bhutani chakrati iti uchyante prasuptaha iva swapnadrishaha. They are sleeping to this reality. It means that just as in the sleep a person sees the dream and then the one who is dreaming, for him the world, the dream world is real. But when he wakes up, he is going to say that the dream was not real. But when will he say? Will he say that whatever the tiger that he is seeing is not real and in middle of the dream? No. He is going, as long as he is dreaming, for him the world is the dream world is real. And when he wakes up, on waking up, this will all become unreal for him. Okay? The tiger, the elephants, the rose gardens that he was seeing, everything is unreal. And therefore, for the ignorant, the dream is real. But the one who has awakened now, he knows this is an appearance like the dream, and therefore he even gives that up. And over there, what happens? Ha avidya samisha avidya rupatvat parama paramartha tattvam pashyato munehe. And that which is a reality, now that which is a reality to the ordinary people, what is its status for the awakened one? It is only a dream. It is only an appearance. It is what? Projection of the ignorance. And therefore, for him, Paramartha Tattvam Pashyato Munehe. Pashyato Munehe, Muni is the one who is contemplative. That meaning the one who has done Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasanam. And that's why he is Muni. For such a Muni, he who is now able to see what is the status of this, the dream? Unreal. What is the status of this entire Vyavahara? Unreal. Whether that Vyavahara is Shastriya Vyavahara or Laukika Vyavahara, all this loses its importance for him. Okay. Anandagiri now, so now we have seen this verse from certain points that Bhashakara has brought. Now, there is a very interesting thing. Then let us say there are two types of darknesses or nights. One is the night of the awakened one, and one is the night of the ordinary people. The night of the ordinary people is what? Brahman. They do not know Brahman is real. And that's why the reality of the self is not known. And therefore that is where they are sleeping. They are sleeping to that reality. This is the night of the ordinary people. So what is the night of the ordinary people? Paramatma is not known, and that becomes the night. What is the night for the awakened one? The Vyavahara is the night. And therefore, that what is the night for the ignorant ones, the awakened one has woken up to that. The enlightened one, the Muni, has woken up to that. And that which is the reality for the ordinary people is only a dream, is only an appearance, like the dream seen in the sleep. And therefore, that is the sleep, that is the night for the awakened one. Okay? So the reality of the awakened one and the reality of the ignorant ones. Now, that is what the ignorant people keep saying. Oh, so, but you have to tell us some practical, real thing. Oh, what is your reality? Atma is Karta Bhokta. That is your reality. And there you expect that even the enlightened one admits that this is the reality. Tell us something that is real. This is Atma is Brahman is very intellectual, conceptual. And this is how these people keep on talking. So therefore, now over here, what does one understand? That Laukika and whether Vyavahara, the entire Vyavahara, whether that Vyavahara be the scriptural or the secular Vyavahara transactions, they have lost the significance and the value of reality. And therefore it is given up in case of the enlightened one. And therefore there is Sarva Karma Sannyasa, which is the natural outcome of knowledge. Now the Sarva Karma Sannyasa is the natural outcome of knowledge. For example, if you know that there is a live socket, electric socket, it is live. Will you put your finger to it? No. Are you going to fiddle with it? No. Why have you given up that? Because now I know. So the knowledge has become the cause for you to give up that action. So through knowledge, sannyas takes place. He who has now known what is the reality, for him now the sannyasa is natural outcome. And therefore, those people who have not understood this point of Bhagavan Shankaracharya, they have a criticism leveled against him, saying that no, Shankaracharya is perpetually partial towards the sannyasa. Sannyasa is natural thing which will happen. Now, a person who in the dream saw the tiger chasing him, and therefore he was running, panting and running away from the tiger, dodging the tiger. And when he wakes up from the dream, should he get up from the bed and start running because the tiger is chasing him? Should he start running because the tiger is chasing him? The running was also happening in dream, and therefore now he does not do that. Because on waking up, he has found that that was all an appearance. Similarly, Sarva Karma Sannyasa is the natural outcome of knowledge. Over here, Bhagavan Bhashyakar is not insisting on sannyasa, but he is simply bringing forth what? What is the natural outcome of knowledge? On knowing that Atma is Purnam, on discovering that one is fulfilled, and the Anatma Padartha is unreal, what is it that is to be chased? On discovering that Naham Karta, I am not the Karta, I am not the doer or experiencer, but I am the Purna Vastu Brahma. On having found that out, now what is to be, where is the question of doing itself? And therefore, doing, not doing, this is applicable to the doer, but this kind of a thing is not applicable to one who is not the doer, and therefore the karma sannyas is something that is the natural outcome, okay, of of the knowledge, and therefore it is going to be called as vidvat sannyasa. There is yet another sannyasa which is called as vividisha sannyasa. Vividisha sannyasa means sannyas taken for the sake of knowledge. So, which means the person still does not know Atma is Brahman, but he wants to know. And how intense is his desire to know that other than this knowledge, he does not have any other agenda. Other than the pursuit for knowledge, he has no purpose that he sees his life can drive to. No other. No other thing. And so, how will this, what is the pursuit of knowledge? It is in form of Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam. So in order to pursue Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasanam, he does not, and there is nothing else that he wants from the world, and therefore he does Sarva Karma Sannyasa for the sake of knowledge. So this sannyasa is called as Vividisha sannyasa. Whereas the sannyasa which takes place as a result of knowledge is called as Vidvat sannyasa. Both of them are sannyasa, and both the sannyasis are Paramahams sannyasi. Whether it is the Vividisha sannyasa or whether it is the Vidvat sannyasa. Both the forms of sannyasa are called as Paramahamsa sannyasa. Okay? But this Paramahamsa who is Jnana Nishtha, the one who is enlightened, is the one who now is what? In the Jivan Mukti Sukha. He is what do they call? In the state of Jivan Mukti, liberated whilst living. And the phalam of Vividisha sannyasa is Videha Kaivalyam. Okay? Whereas of this is Jivan Mukti, and after the prarabdha of the body finishes, it is Videha Kaivalyam. So Jivan Mukta is living as a liberated one, even whilst the body is still alive, and is liberated even when the body is given up. And therefore, this is the Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti is the phalam of Vidvat Sannyasa. And what is the phalam of Vividisha Sannyasa? Videha Kaivalyam. Okay? Sannyasa, therefore, is something which is a valid thing shown by the scriptures. There is nothing that Shankaracharya insists, and therefore he is Pakshadhar. He is partial towards this idea of sannyasa. This claim of people is totally false because they have not understood what is the intention of Sri Krishna or of the Upanishads over here. Just as the one who has woken up from the dream will not start running. Okay? So he gives up running. Why? Because he has woken up. Similarly, the one who is awakened, now for him there is Sarva Karma Sannyasa. Okay, there is Sarva Karma Sannyasa. This is the point. Anandagiri says, Atmavidaha Sthita Prashyasya Sarva Karma Parityage Adhikaraha Tadviparitasya Ashyasya Karmani Iti Asmin Arthe Samanantaram Shlokam Avatarayati. Bhagavan Shri Krishna gives us this shloka in order to make us understand a very important point, and that is what Atmavidaha, the one of this, the one who is enlightened, the one who is now enlightened about such a person, what Atmavidaha, the one who knows Atma is Brahman, Sthita Prajnasya, as well as his prajna is also sthira. Okay, Sarva Karma Parityage Adhikaraha. Now he is qualified for Sarva Karma Sannyasa. Why? Because there is no kartritvam over there. Karma will be advised, do this or don't do this, will be told to whom? To the one who is a karta. But it cannot be there. It is not applicable to the one who has discovered I am a karta. And therefore, how is he? That Atmashyani sarva karma parityage adhikaraha. And contrary to this, Ajnasya, the one who is still ignorant, Karmani, they are qualified to do or not do. Okay? Not doing. So when it is said, do not murder anyone, do not kill anyone, do not harm anyone, do not. For whom is this instruction? The one who can kill. To him he is this instruction. And therefore, Karmani, Ajnasya Karmani, for whom is this? Oh, you tell us some practical spirituality. For whom? That practical spirituality means that give us some scheme. And those who are talking about it as, theoretical Vedanta and practical Vedanta, they have not understood Vedanta at all. If they have this kind of a division. Karmani iti asmin arthe samanantaram shlokam avdharayati. And to give us this particular point, Bhagavan Shri Krishna has spoken over here as Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Chakrati Sanyami. Tasyam Jagarti Sanyami. Jagarti is the first person, Prathama Purusha Ekavachanam. Jagarti. And Jagrati is plural. Okay. In English, they will say what? Third person. But Prathama Purusha means, in Sanskrit, it means the third person. And what is the first person of English in Sanskrit? Uttama Purusha. Okay. Atmavidaha sthita prajnasya sarva karma parityage adhikaraha tad viparitasya karmani iti asmin arthe samanantaram shlokam avatarayati. Okay. Sarva praninam nisha padartha vivekakari iti atra hetumaha. Why does the night become a factor which causes indiscrimination of all the objects, because you are not able to distinguish this is a pot, this is a cloth. You do not know whether the pot is on the right side or the cloth is on the right side. So therefore, there is no discrimination. You cannot distinguish. And hence, why? Because tamasvabhavat. It is the darkness is the nature of the night. Tamasvabhavat. Okay. Paramartha tattvasya prakasheka svabhavasya katamajnanam pratinishatvam. Oh, but how has Bhagavan Shri Krishna called the Paramartha Tattva, the reality, which by itself is self-effulgent, as Nisha, as night of the ignorant? Why has Bhagavan Shri Krishna called the self-effulgent reality as the night of the ignorant? Why has he called? To this, Bhagavan Bhashyakara gives an example. That which is self-evident, that which is self-effulgent, also becomes darkness for certain birds and animals who are able to see only at night, and the daytime for them is Nisha. And that is what? Is they cannot see during the daylight. Like those animals and birds, which cannot see during the daytime, though there is light, exactly like that, the ignorant are not able to see the reality, and tamasva, and that's why it is called as their night. Though the Atma is self-effulgent, Swayam Prakash Vastu, This is what Bhagavan Shri Krishna has brought. And the important point over here is that of Sarva Karma Sannyasa. The sannyasa that Shri Krishna is talking over here is that what sannyasa? Vidvat sannyasa. We will dwell on this shloka a little more in through the other commentaries when we meet tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanta Shanta Shanti Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakrito Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Namaha. Thank you all. Thank you very much.